Hello and welcome. Today, author R.T. Cagle shares another inspiring story from the Bedtime Stories with Heart and Soul series, written to help you slow down, reflect, and end the day with a little more peace. Now, here's the author.
Hello, my name is author R.T. Cagles. Today's story is called Great Balls of Fire, so let's get started. One evening, we were having dinner with my mother. The smaller table in the kitchen was just big enough for all 5 of us. The table was set, the silverware was in place, and dinner was about to be served. The aroma of a freshly cooked meal was in the air, and everyone was anticipating what would come next. I don't know why, but suddenly I had a vision of Jerry Lee Lewis singing one of his greatest songs called Great Balls of Fire. Well, I looked at the table, I looked at everyone sitting there, and wondered how I would begin my introduction. In my younger years, I was a drummer, so what came next was natural for me. As I began, I started thumping on the table, and the silverware was jumping up and down, being part of the rhythm section. Everyone looked over at me and just took in all of the excitement. Then I sang out, "Boom, boom, 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 you shake my nerves and you rattle my brain." As I continued, everyone looked on in disbelief while enjoying being entertained in the presence of the moment in front of them. I felt like I was on stage at a nightclub, except that my audience was my family. I imagined the lighting becoming brighter with floodlights above and to the sides, but there was only one kitchen light overhead. That didn't matter though, because I was giving my best performance to the audience who mattered most to me. Not only was I drumming and singing, I was also dancing around while sitting in my chair. It was an occasion not to be missed, and we didn't miss it. My kids looked on with amazement that I could do that. When I was finished, their eyes were glowing with overflowing enthusiasm. Then they said loudly in unison, "Do it again. Do it again." So, of course, I happily laid out another rendition, just as intense as the first. Some of the silverware managed to fly off the table this time and onto the floor. But that was a small price to pay for such homegrown entertainment. Even if just for a few brief minutes, my daughter asked me how I learned to do that. Well, I told her I grew up with music like that, and I also knew how to play the drums. So I just combined the two, and there you have it. After everything settled down, we still managed to have a good time together, enjoying another heartfelt meal made with love. Some of the best times for me are having a good dinner with family or friends. I always like to say that's the time of day when we get to commune together. In other words, that's a time when we get to share a close mental and emotional bond with each other. Like sharing something about what we did that day. What was different, unusual, or interesting during our day. What we thought or how we felt about something that happened, and giving everyone a chance to express their own point of view. No matter what, it was never dull. After dinner and after the kitchen was cleaned up, we settled down to enjoy a family movie. A tradition we often shared with the kids as much as possible. Of course, the kids would usually say it was their turn to pick the movie, and as long as everyone agreed, we were ready for showtime. This particular night, I don't remember the title of the movie, but it had something to do with a talking dog. In fact, I couldn't remember another time when everyone was laughing throughout the movie, so you could say that we were all thoroughly entertained. Later, after the movie, it was time for the kids to turn in, or as some would say, it was time for bed. Usually, I would read them a bedtime story, but this night they both wanted me to do the Great Balls of Fire song again. So I said okay and come out to the kitchen. Set up the table like before with the silverware the same way. I looked at both of them and asked if they were ready. As their heads nodded yes, I started in with the drum introduction. Then I stopped and asked them if they remembered the words. Their heads nodded yes again, and I said, "Great, we will sing it together. Ready?" I started the drum introduction, and we all sang out loudly in unison, "Boom, boom, 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 you shake my nerves and you rattle my brain." I was surprised that they remembered the words, but they did a great job getting an A for enthusiasm. It's times like that where we wish we could live in the moment forever. That's why keeping and remembering good memories is so important. And don't forget to take lots of pictures as often as possible. Most of all, as I like to say, if you happen to realize that this moment is one of the most important moments in your life, then pay attention like you mean it and live intensely present in the moment. Soak it up like a sponge, because you'll need those precious memories every time you think back to that happy day. And so, living life like you really mean it is also having a life well lived. Thank you for joining me.
Hello again. As we come to a close, remember to like, subscribe, and follow us so you don't miss a single adventure. Thank you for spending this heartfelt moment with us. Until next time, we hope this story brought you a little peace as the day comes to a close.